All right, everyone, welcome back for our third mixer of our Grackle Giraffe uh, cohort. Last week, we were discussing things we were passionate about. Um, could be coding related, could be tech related, could be something totally different. We had some great answers last week. We had people that were passionate about cooking, volunteering, um, all kinds of great answers. This week, we're going to be talking about a little more about our personal lives. What we were doing before we started with Code the Dream, maybe what we're currently doing actually, because I know a lot of us are working full time while also taking these courses full time. So kind of want to learn a little bit more about your experiences, things you might like about what you were doing either now or before, maybe some things you don't like of what you're doing before you're doing Code the Dream, and maybe get some insight on why you chose Code the Dream in the first place. Maybe you're thinking about changing careers. Want to know a little bit more about why you were, yeah, thinking about maybe changing your career. So to get started, maybe we will go and maybe go in this order here. Let's start with maybe Bianca, if you could do the honors and sharing with us what you're either currently doing while taking Code the Dream or what you were doing before, things you like or dislike about it.
Yes, I'm Bianca. Before I was doing Code the Dream, I was working as a video editor. Um, and I went to college to get my bachelor's in broadcast journalism. So I was working at a news station before that. And I decided I wanted to get into coding. And so I had initially applied for a program called Ada Developers Academy, and it was focused on like women, and they taught us like some Python before we applied, but that program didn't end up accepting us because they were going through some troubles. And so then someone we were on Discord and we were talking, and someone had mentioned Code the Dream, and so I started with the beginner classes, and then I'm doing Node and planning to do Ruby as well. And also, I'm also going back to at Western Governors University, going to try for a computer science degree as well. But I really enjoy this program and connecting with the people here. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Why did you
Mhm.
choose doing the back end with Node rather than front end? I'm sure you thought about it a little bit. Is there something about the back end that made you more inclined to want to go that route?
Um, no, I figured it would be interesting to try it out. I felt like I got some good experience learning HTML. But yeah, I kind of wanted to try the back end.
And you mentioned you were a video editor before. Was there something about it that you, I don't know, like the job itself that you didn't like that made you want to maybe switch careers, or were there things about it you liked or disliked?
I definitely liked it. I like say that it's kind of like coding, whereas like you're putting puzzle pieces together, like you're putting the different clips and putting music to it, and like you're trying to tell a story. So it's kind of like interesting, like weaving that together. Um, but I think just like the particular job I was doing was getting a little kind of like boring for me. So it
Hmm.
was nice. It's I find coding to be a little more interesting and challenging, and I felt like it'd be nice to have a challenge.
That's
Yeah.
that's super interesting. I mean, I'm impressed. I actually kind of enjoy video editing myself, so I'm like, I think that's awesome that you're able to do that for like a news stations. Like that's awesome. So I was just super curious about yeah, like your journey to Code the Dream, and yeah, just like wanted to, yeah, just get a little more insight. And then before I move on to someone else, let me ask you quickly. There's like a couple more, actually a template I was looking at before. I just wanted to make sure I get all the questions in here. Um, I had it up, but I had to move it to access the getting inside the record panel. Here we go. Um, oh, okay. Last question here. What is something you're hoping to learn more about during the rest of the either your course or like the practicum?
Something I'm hoping to learn.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I would there's like the kind of like the manual to like Node.js and like just kind of getting like the particulars of like learning more about it. I think maybe I'd just to become more comfortable with it. I think I'd want to like do some more reading um just about
Yeah,
Node.
just become more familiar with it.
Yeah, I think there's just a lot out there that I don't know, so it'd be nice to just take some more time reading.
Totally.
Yeah,
Well, thanks for sharing with us, Bianca.
thank you.
Very insightful. Next, we'll check in with Faratiana. Thanks for joining us. If you could tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you were doing before you started with Code the Dream, or maybe something you're currently doing while simultaneously taking courses. You could share that with us.
Yes, sure. Hello. Can you hear me well? Because last time I had some problems with the audio. Yeah. I don't know what to begin with because I think my journey in IT began like with QA like 3 years ago during COVID time, and it was mostly manual QA. And when I decided like to dive deeper and to get like familiar with HTML, CSS, so understand how it works behind the scene. And one friend of mine like said, "Okay, do you want like to do this like front end developer course?" And I was like, "Okay." Actually, I was like trying like to get into automated QA, but I kind of was always interested like in the result, like to see like the image because I think I'm more like creative person and I like to see that. I used to bake a lot and I really like enjoyed the process, then like from all these products you got this like beautiful cake. And like when I began like to learn more about HTML, CSS, it's kind of reminded me about this like process when like from woods you can like create something like beautiful, like sight appealing. And I really like fell in love with that. Or maybe not. It's kind of hate-love relationship sometimes. Yeah, and I finished that course, and yeah, I decided that like with the market we have today, it's not enough. I need to know more. And a friend of mine, she recommended me Code to Dream. She already like graduated, and she's like in the apprenticeship, so she was kind of like a hero for me. And yeah, I hope I'll be able like to follow her steps because with the market we're having now, like it's a great opportunity. So yeah.
So, what you were doing before, it sounded like you were like a baker by trade.
uh yeah, but yeah, it was like I immigrated to the US like maybe around like 8 years ago, and I had like little kids, and I was trying like to fill my life with something meaningful stuff except kids.
Yeah.
And yes, and then my kids grew older and I decided to move something more like meaningful. And yeah, QA was one of my like goals before like moving to the US. And like I got like some courses. I finished some courses in QA, like, and like yeah, when I was moving here, I had a goal, but like kids kind of like interrupted it. So yeah, now like the kids are older. Before kids, I worked in banking system. Yeah, so
And you're in the front end course, you're in the Grackle
yeah,
class.
yeah, I'm
Why did you
just
choose going the front end route rather than taking
yeah.
like
I already told you that I like the image. I
the
like to
images?
see the tangible results. So when you do front end, you can see like the the product of your work. You can see. Yeah, you can
Yeah.
enjoy it. I don't know. I don't know about backend, whether you can see all this like processes, but yeah, when you're doing front end, you can like develop something wonderful.
Yeah,
So
got it.
yeah, that's why I'm at front end.
And then lastly, is there anything in particular that you might be hoping to learn in your last few weeks of our React course, or something you might hope to learn or do when we start the practicum?
Yeah, I would like to work in a team more, because like to learn more about GitHub, about all this pull requests, because when you work in team, it's kind of different, and I'd like to communicate with people and to build like more like a meaningful project, like more serious one, and like to dive deeper in the React possibilities, because I really like this like to do project. I think we're still all finishing it, but I would like something like to be more like work, like, you know,
Mina,
meaningful. I don't know,
Yeah, absolutely.
more like
Mina,
real like work
Mina,
life simulator, something like
hey,
that. I'm expecting something like that from
yes,
the practicum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Uh, Great answer. Well, yeah, glad you joined us for the mixer and for the course. And
Thank you.
I think uh, I think what you mentioned, so working with a team is going to be super invaluable. It's going to be great experience for you, especially if you're planning to continue a career in coding. A lot of employers want to see that experience that you've worked with a team, that you were able to successfully reach your MVP with a team, and just having that experience, because wherever you go, you're going to be working with someone else. So they want to know that you're able to work with a team and that you're comfortable, yeah, using GitHub, uh, making a branch on your own, not creating any merge conflicts with people you're working with. So
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, this is, I think, like the biggest fear, like about this marriage conflicts and other stuff. Yeah, I'm also excited like to see like how like backend works with front end, you know, how they like interfere with each other. So it will be also interesting.
yeah, so great answer. So thank you so much for your input.
Thank you.
Next, I will move on to someone with a similar sounding name, Faratiana. Hopefully, I didn't butcher your name, but if you could share with us what you were doing before joining Code the Dream, or maybe something you're currently doing, maybe working alongside
I,
your course of the.
yeah, yeah, I heard my name before, but she said so. I looked at the similarity of our name, Titiana, Faratiana. So, yeah, but it's okay. I am Faratiana. I've joined the mixer last week, so I
Welcome back.
may repeating something that I
Yeah.
said there. Yeah, so you can call me Farah. I've been already a software developer in my country. I work, I worked as a software engineer there. I am from Madagascar, and I have 4 years experience as a software developer there. But when I moved to United States, I am not with the Perry language, and I was not confident enough to apply immediately as a computer scientist or software developer or something else. So, and I need to provide for my family. So I worked as a babysitter.
Okay.
And after I work at the after I stopped when I got my second child, I stopped to work as a babysitter. And during that time stopping, I took courses online like Coursera or Udacity or something like that too, because my goal was to, after maybe taking care of my second child, I'm going to apply for a computer scientist job again.
Yeah.
But no luck yet. So 2019, I started like volunteering to some places, like being a teacher assistant teaching refugees like the basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and I don't know log yet. So, so now I'm doing. I worked before that. I worked for Chick-fil-A also, just as a team member. I want to go through. My goal was to go through the low level and maybe getting up a little more after at the Chick-fil-A. I would like to work at Chick-fil-A. But someone at my church asked me to if I'm interested to work at his office as a shipping clerk. So that's what I'm doing now. And I always I like coding, but yeah, when it's challenging, I'm kind of like giving up. I'm not like Bianca, like she said, but she likes the challenges. But I am kind of like I like challenges, but I'm not really like if it's too frustrating, I am like giving up. And so what I like for my job now as a shipping clerk is like it's how to say it? Yeah, it's kind of like a routine. It's not boring for me. I like that, but for one reason, I don't want it anymore. So to switch again to do the to be a software developer is that I don't really like the chain work. Like I have to wait for I take seriously my job, and you have to wait for the others to do seriously their job. So I feel I don't like it. I mean, I like the what I'm doing, but I don't like the chain work. So but it's different from teamwork. Teamwork is for me, if a team work together well, it will be fun. And if the team is supporting each other, it's good. But if in a work environment, if it's the fact teamwork is not there, it's going to make you overwhelmed and depressed sometimes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Let me ask you this real quick, because you mentioned before that you were a software developer before you moved to the States. Were you doing like,
mhm.
were you a front end or a back end software?
Both.
You're doing
I
both?
was a full stack developer.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. And is
Yeah,
there any,
I did work on C++. I did work on Java. I did work on PHP and MySQL. So I like more of the database, and after
yeah.
that, yeah, I like more of the backend.
And you're
So
currently in the giraffe course or the React
I
course?
did finish the React before the
Uh-huh.
front end with when in a Flamingo cohort,
Okay.
and now I took the Node in the Giraffe. Yes, and
Oh,
I
great.
kind of like more of a backend. Yes, I like more of the backend. I like that. I like working with a database.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also I'm not really I'm not really good at the web designing something. So I'm kind of like in the back. Yes.
And so you've learned some new things since you started taking courses with Code the Dreams. You were able still, despite being a software engineer before, you're able to start with Code the Dream and probably learn some new things along the way.
Yes, yeah, I learned a lot, and I am thankful that I found out Code for Dream. I learned a lot. I mean, and I'm still hoping to learn more. Yes,
Absolutely.
mostly I look forward to the practicum I didn't do after the React, but I will do for this time, doing working with Node, not the full stack, but not just Node for this. And yeah, I look forward to the work team because I've never, I mean, not I've never, but since I was I am in United States, I didn't work, in a team for like coding. So
Got it. So you're also looking to get that team experience in the practicum.
yeah, I would like that team experience, and I listened to the record of the practicum before their what to name it, their presentation,
Hmm.
and they know a lot from 2 months of doing the practicum. So I'm kind of like, oh, like, yeah, I want to learn about that too. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, perfect. Well, thanks so much for sharing your
You're
experience
so
with us and your
welcome.
background. And
Thank you.
yeah, I hope yeah, you're glad you were able to learn something in the course, and yeah, look forward to seeing what you do in the practicum. So next, let's move on to Lana. If you could share with us what you were doing maybe before starting with Code the Dream, or maybe what you're currently doing while taking some courses with Code the Dream.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Lana. I live in Florida. I'm currently working as a software QA engineer and for one of the New York based company working for New York City projects, government project. And I was actually signing up for Code the Dream uh, for the last course, and I couldn't complete it because I just started my new job and I needed to be involved more with the project itself at work. So, and it was my first actual job in America as a IT specialist. And then when I found out that there is a school like Code the Dream and they offer free uh, courses for React and software development, I knew I needed to apply and try to complete. I'm very hopeful that I will complete this time because I'm still behind on some assignments. Yeah, I don't have a software development background. I'm a self-taught. I used to work as a data specialist back in Russia, in my home country. Um, but I never been working as a QA engineer or software developer. So I don't have that computer science degree or anything. And I really, when I read the tasks for the assignments, I need to spend a lot of time to understand what is needed, and this is being a challenge for me. But thanks to technologies now, I have ChatGPT, and if I have any question, I can just ask ChatGPT to explain me in simple words what it's needed. It's been very helpful, and I'm looking forward to completing this course. I'm not sure if I will be able to participate in the practicum because I'm so behind. I just completed the 1.8 assignment. So maybe you can suggest something, or maybe I should connect to someone else later on to discuss this.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
1.8 is not too bad. If it makes you feel better, there's other students too who are about where you're at as well that still need to catch up. Of course, I'd recommend if you haven't already, we have a lot of one-on-one mentors that might be able to help you through some assignments. It always helps too if you know who the person reviewing your assignments. You can always message them on Slack, maybe get some feedback. Is something I'd recommend too. But I think it's great. You're already a QA tester, you said, especially not having a coding background. I think super impressive. So that's amazing. Was
thank
there,
you.
despite being a QA tester already, what really motivated you to like start with Code the Dream since you already kind of have an in with, the software development world because they say getting your first job is actually the hardest part. Was there something you were hoping to learn with Code the Dream that you wanted, more experience with, or?
Yeah, I mean, when I was working as a data specialist back in Russia, I've been working on a software development product team, and actually they were developing the applications like WhatsApp, let's say.
Okay, cool.
And I've been working very closely with testers, with developers, with programmers, and I've been testing some of it too. And I really wanted to be involved more in creating this stuff, you know. And when I moved to the States, there was some time when I wasn't able to work at all during the immigration process. And I had a plan in my mind that I would go and learn the course from one of particular school and become a QA engineer first. But when I started learning more and diving deeper into the software development, I just realized that I'm more interested in creating than in testing. So, and as you know, the automation engineers, they are coding too, and they know all about the integration and stuff. And um, why not? I was thinking,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
this is a great opportunity, and it's like a level up for me. So I'm the person who is always like wants to develop, improve, and learn new skills, just not to be on the same level all the time. And in my opinion, uh, to become a software engineer, it's like a level up. And I see that there are more opportunities in the market as well. And if you are a really good coder, it's going to be more jobs for you in the future.
Yeah. And so you're in the tell me if I'm wrong here. You're
In
in
Grackle.
the Grackle course?
Yes, and React.js. I've been complete.
Yeah.
I actually completed the Coursera course on from Meta
Oh,
on
okay,
React. Yes,
cool.
but honestly, it's like I did it, but nothing stayed in my brain, and I needed to do this again just
Totally.
to, you know, to look from a different perspective and see the different tasks and different like teachers and teaching techniques, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know the timeline of when you took that Coursera course, but I imagine there were probably already a lot of changes to React between the time you took that course
I
and
know.
now.
Yes, yes.
So,
We didn't
uh,
have that white Vite uh,
yeah.
create React app.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for the database, they were not using GraphQL. I'm very looking forward to it.
And was there anything that in particular that you that drew you to the front end rather than taking a back end course like Node or
No, not now.
not?
I think I should just focus on one thing at a
Oh, for
time.
sure. But was there something about the front end, like what made you choose learning React versus like database, like Node, for example?
Maybe, maybe Node, yeah. Or
Okay. But like,
Express.
can you tell me what, like why you chose
Why,
React versus?
why did I choose React
Yeah.
over the backend?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's cool.
Okay. Totally.
I mean, to be able to control what is on front end, what the user and users can see. And sometimes I see very, very weird websites and terrible design when it's, and especially when you work as a QA, you can notice many, many little details. And being a like more detail-oriented person, I strive to make those UIs very user-friendly.
So you have an eye for design, it sounds like, which is probably why you chose to learn more
Yes,
with
yes,
React. Okay,
yes,
cool.
yes.
Anything that you're looking forward to learning, maybe in the rest of the React course, or I know you mentioned you might not do the practicum, but if you were able to, is there something you're still hoping to learn uh, in this course,
Well,
perhaps?
maybe popular frameworks like CSS frameworks and how
Okay,
to build it together with
totally.
React. Yeah,
Yeah, maybe something like Bootstrap or something. Okay, yeah,
yes.
cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. Again, I think it's super impressive. You already got your foot in the door, and Don't worry about, I know you mentioned you're on 1.8, but there's some other students who are too. So maybe this weekend if you're able. I think these last few courses, I mean, you're almost there. There's like 3 more lessons and then you're pretty much caught up. So don't give up. You're almost there. So check in with the one-on-one mentor. If you haven't already, just schedule some time with them if you think that might help. And then if you know who your reviewer is, or you could message me if you don't know, I could connect you with them if you have any questions or want maybe direct feedback on some of your assignments. So yeah, don't stress out about it. You're almost there. So
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
you're welcome. So next, let's
Can
hear.
I add a little bit? I'm so sorry to
Oh,
interrupt.
no worries.
I heard a lot of great things about Lillian, the assistant who is helping the student who is behind the schedule, and I would like to recommend her to connect with her.
Oh yeah, Lillian's a great resource too.
Lillian?
Yes, she's our instructional engineer. She's great. So if you have any problems, like maybe some life problems that are making it hard, Lillian is a great resource. Feel free to reach out to her if there's anything that might you feel might prevent you from reaching your goal in the course. So Lillian's always there, and that's what she's there for. Real quick before we move on, looks like Tatiana, do you have a question?
Yeah, sorry, I think it's late, but you mentioned that reviewer and mentor we can reach. Can it be like different people? Because I usually like take one-to-one session with my reviewer, but is it like possible to make it with other like people on the list?
So you're the person that the person that reviews your assignments is assigned to you, but if you want feedback from a different person, they're not going to review the assignment, but if you just want like advice or feedback,
Yeah.
you can totally schedule a one-on-one.
With anyone, right? Like if they
Yes,
are available, right? Like to get in touch with them. Okay.
exactly. And do
Okay.
you have the link for that? So I can be happy to
Yeah,
share.
I have the list, but yeah, I thought that we should like contact our like reviewer, like who is assigned to us, because he is the first year here, like as a mentor, so he doesn't have answers for some questions. So I won't like, yeah, I got it. Thank you
Cool.
very much. Sorry
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, no problem. Totally. So,
I did one-to-one session with the other people than my reviewers. So you can anytime you can schedule the session with them.
totally. All
Thank
right,
you.
so let's move on to let's hear from Laura. Or actually, sorry, let's hear from Lana. I thought we already heard from Lana. Sorry, I'm like all over the place here. Let's hear from Laura next. If you could tell us a bit about what you were doing before you started Code the Dream, or maybe what you're currently doing. If you could share that with us, if you're there. Or I might have muted you.
Hi
There
everyone.
you are. Hey,
I'm
Laura.
currently outside. But my name is Laura. I think my story with Code the Dream goes back to when I was in community college. I started Code the Dream when I was like a freshman in community college. So my interest kind of started in high school, like coding and all that. And I did Code the Dream I took the beginning courses and even React. I went through like the internship for I think like half a year until I transferred to a 4-year college. And there I kind of fell in love with like math and computer science. And it was getting that time where it was like, you gotta choose what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was very tough because like I really loved math and I really loved computer science and they overlapped like a lot.
Yeah.
So, but eventually I chose like that I wanted to teach at a college level. So I was like, hey, I guess I got to pick math now. And I did that. And thankfully, I was able to go to graduate school after college. And think about a semester in, I was like, I don't think I want to teach anymore. So then I was like rethinking my life and I withdrew from grad school and like started thinking about what is my passion if this isn't my passion? And I realized maybe it was like coding and everything. So here I am again. I joined the React course, so that's what I'm in now. And it feels great this time. I think when I was younger, it was really hard because I was doing school, Code the Dream, and working when I was doing that. So it was hard for me to really like absorb all the learning I was doing. But now, like, I have more time, and so I feel like I'm picking it up like better than I thought I would. So I guess they were still in there, like the kind of stuff I learned.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a history. You were in Code the Dream before, and then you decided to pick it back up. I know it's a lot, like you mentioned, if you're in school, you're working, and you're doing Code the Dream, that is a lot on your plate to keep up with. But it sounds like maybe currently now you're no longer in school. Are you working currently?
Yeah, I'm working part-time because I really wanted to learn all that I can learn right now. Because eventually I do want to do software development full time, and I really enjoy it, and I want to get like lost in the work, like lost doing, like loving what I'm doing. And it feels like that now when I'm learning. So I'm really excited to really do this like full time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you mentioned that previously you were going to learn React. Was there anything about the front end that drew you to wanting to learn React versus signing up with like a back end course through like Node or Express? Like what made you choose the front end versus taking the Node course?
I think I chose the front end just because like that's what like I'm more familiar with. Like even when I was in school, the computer science classes we were taking was like Java, so it was very close to JavaScript, and then I was like JavaScript and React. So it's like I think like if I'm gonna ease into this, I could probably do it that way. And aside from that, I don't really know too much. So I was like, maybe I'll explore other stuff because I am interested in the back end too, like learning a little bit about that. Um, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if you're interested in doing the practicum. Hopefully you are. Is there anything that you're still kind of hoping to learn or do through the rest of the course or in the practicum?
I'm really interested in the practicum. I really want to do work in a team and see how that works out for me. I think like doing the class on my own, I'm like, oh, I can tell myself what to do. Like this is how it's gonna work. I have my own timeline, so I want to see what it'd be like working on a team. Um, what was the other question?
I think that was my mate was like just what you were wanting to do or learn or get experience with, either through the rest of the
Oh,
course or doing the practicum. And I think it sounds like you gave me a good answer, wanting to work with a team because that's great experience. It's gonna be critical, if you want to continue a career in software development, working with a team is like in most cases, the number one thing most employers are looking for. So it's totally great, great answer. I was trying to think if there's. I know you mentioned you're working part-time right now. Is it? I don't know if you'd be comfortable sharing what you're doing part-time right now.
I'm just working at Staples at a print and marketing.
Okay, and it's okay, or is anything about it that you like or dislike or motivating factor?
Um, Not really. I think I'm just there to have some income while I do my classes, just enough. Um,
Totally.
but that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Well, thanks so much for sharing your background and experience, and yeah, I hope you will do the practicum when we start in a few weeks. Or actually, I guess we're not even June yet, so that's going to be like at least a month and a half from now. So there's still plenty of time. But even after the practicum for everybody, if you're in front end right now and you want to see what the back end's like, I'd recommend doing the practicum and maybe jumping into the back end, or if you already know you want to work with the back end, you still have that option. So after we finish our Giraffe-Grackle course, you can choose to take another course, whether it's front end or back end, or do the practicum, or do a different front end or back end after the practicum. So you have a lot of options to go with. So, but I hope you will all want to do the practicum when we start it in July. So thanks again, Laura, for sharing your experience with us. Next, I'd like to hear from Oksana. If you could tell us a bit about what you're doing or were doing before you started, learning with us in Code the Dream.
Hello, nice to so it's third class of the dream, and I'm so thankful for the opportunity to Code the Dream, to learn new stuff. Before the Code the Dream, so that was long road, but I'll start with the time when I immigrated to United States. I took community college class, graduated from it with my major was design, web technologies. And after I graduated the college, I figured out I'll have another baby. So that was a long-awaited daughter, and I just spent all time with her. And when she was, I don't know, 2 or 3 years old, all my friends in my circle, local, they have been in Code the Dream, and they say, "Do you want to just refresh your knowledges?" I say, "Yeah, for sure." So that's how I'm here. And I took intro class and React class, and after the React class, I did practicum, and I really, really, really enjoy it. And the funny things was our crazy team, like in good way crazy. We were so excited to try new things, and also we learn React. Our practicum was on Next.js. So that was
Okay.
interesting
Yes.
idea, and
Cool.
that was like a little bit challenging for me, but our team was so great. A lot of people had like the second practicum, and I had great support from my team, from my family members. So that was so great experience, and I really enjoy to work with team.
Yeah.
And so I can complain or tell anything, but everything was so nice, so perfect. So now I'm in Node class, and after Node class, I'm going home just to try my back-end skills, and maybe just to help with React and front end as well. I
Yeah.
will see. Uh, just because the reality, everyone asks for full stack developers, and I will. When I took practicum, at the same time I took Node class. So for the people who is afraid, just how can I handle? Yeah, it depends on person. Like, but I have 3 kids. I had practicum. I had Node classes, and I survived.
Yeah.
So, and this time I already signed up for Ruby on Rails class.
Oh, great.
So this practicum will be busy as well, like with 3 kids still here and practicum and Ruby on Rails class. But I hope I'll do this.
Perfect. So just to recap here, so you've already done, like, of course, the intro course, the React course, and then you did the practicum after that too. And then after the practicum, you decided you wanted to learn Node, get some backend experience. Once you complete the Giraffe course, are you going to also take the practicum again as a backend?
Yes.
Perfect. Cool. That's great. So you'll have double the experience working with a team, working in the practicum, and then you're going to continue learning more back end, doing the Ruby on Rails after the practicum, is what it sounds like.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Well, that's such a great story. I wish you the best in the practicum, and I think Ruby's on Rails sounds like it's shaping up to be a great course. So I'm like super excited for you. And it sounds like after you do Ruby's on Rails, I think you'll have completed like all of the Code the Dream courses available. So
No, but I heard Code the Dream is going to have a Python class on spring to 2025. So I'm still here.
cool. So yes, I have actually heard that as well. So you're right. So there may be an additional Python course being offered. I know there's talks about it right now. I think they're currently working on that. So there's plenty of stuff to learn after, this course. If this is your first round doing practicum, after intro and your front end or back end course, you want to keep learning. There's still plenty of other things to learn at Code the Dream. So thank you so much, Oksana, for sharing that with us. And looks like you're in a car. I assume you're not
Oh,
driving. Looks like you're in the
crazy,
passenger seat. So
crazy busy Friday evening.
so thank you so much again for sharing that with us.
Bye. Bye.
Uh,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And next, let's hear down. We're getting close to hearing from everybody, but I'd like to hear from Olga next. If you could tell us a bit about your experience, what you were doing before starting with Code the Dream, or maybe what you're currently doing, if you're working alongside, your cohort, taking classes with Code the Dream.
Yeah, hi guys, I'm Olga. So I don't know where to start, but in my previous life in Ukraine, I was an accountant. When we immigrated to the United States, it's about 7 years ago. I was on H4 visa, so I couldn't work. And I started to learn QA, manual QA. When I got my work authorization, I tried, but I'm really worse, not so good in interviews. So I didn't manage with these interviews and find some job. I started to, so I had a small project with manual QA, but it wasn't so long. After that, I started to learn Java for automation testing. Then I decided, no, Java, it's not mine. I started to learn JavaScript for automation testing, and it worked good for me. So I had a project where I implemented test framework on Cypress.
Okay.
From scratch. So I did everything, but the company decided not to move forward with my framework. They decided to use manual QA. So good luck, and I will go forward. And but every time when I was doing quality assurance, I just felt that front end it's more interesting to me, and that's why I'm here. I did so before the Code the Dream, I did my portfolio on React with Tailwind.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was just with on YouTube video with full step-by-step video, and I did it, and I decided I like it. I like it more than before, and that's why I decided to go here to work in a team, to have more experience, to improve my English, to be with people, to talk to people, and I'm happy I'm here. So for the summer course, I took the Node.js, a Node Express,
Yeah.
and but currently I'm in React class in Grackle, and my practicum would be as a React developer, and then I will mix with Node.js Express, and thanks to Oksana, I hope I will survive too. So we'll see.
Yeah, she's an inspiration. Now that you know what she's been through, hopefully that'll motivate you and inspire you to, continue with the coursework and not give up.
No,
So it sounds like,
I'm fine. I call myself as a whole life student, so I learn
yeah.
everything I want to learn everything. I'm interested in everything, but no job, just knowledges, and that's it.
Yeah, it's tough. I know you mentioned like the interviews are tough, and you're not the only one. I think a lot of people have a hard time with interviews. So it's tough. That's all I can say. I think we've all had bad interviews at some points. I've had interviews that I thought went great, and like I still didn't end up getting it. So who knows? I mean, but it can be sometimes you just have to give yourself some time between interviews to like just recover and just focus on the next thing. But it sounds like that you mentioned so you've already taken Node, so you already have like the backend experience. You're currently doing React, so you're getting the front end experience. Sounds like you tend to like front end a bit more than the back end. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, backend just started this week. We have orientation week in Code the Dream, so it's didn't start yet.
Ah, I see.
I'm here for the summer class for the summer.
Got it. Okay, so you're just about to start
Yeah.
the back end.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you'll like it just as much as learning front end with React, but at least the consolation will be when you're done with learning Node, you'll have the experience to be what's considered a full stack engineer. So you'll know the front end and back end. You can use those together to have a really cool like portfolio slide or make some cool projects and React, storing information on a database. And yeah, hopefully that'll give you the credentials to also get your foot in the door with your coding career. So it's super exciting. And you're going to be taking the practicum course too, right? In July
Yeah.
or?
Yeah. I'm going to take practicum course for React. And I just wanted to say that Node.js I took just for knowledges and to know what is happening in the backend. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I like front end more than back end because I like when websites are smooth and accurate, and I like to do this, and so I want to be a part of this.
Absolutely. Well, we're happy to have you. And yeah, I hope everything, I think, back end can feel a little dry for people, but it is great experience. And I think as long as you have that motivation to keep learning, I think you'll be just fine with it. But I'm looking forward to seeing what you come up with in the practicum, doing it as a front end engineer. So thank you so much for sharing your experience with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I ask Olga?
Yeah.
Did you have like to do another project like for the Node.js class, like to get into it?
No,
Like,
no. I asked Mary Alice. She told me that I don't need to make some pre-work.
yeah. Okay.
If you are here in the Code the Dream school, you don't need it. Just register for this class. But I don't know, do you have any time to do
No,
this?
I think it's late. I'm just asking for maybe for the next one. So I was curious.
Can ask Mary Alice because probably on orientation for practicum, she told that you can ask her about this, but I'm not sure.
About the summer one?
Yeah,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was some deadline, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe.
but okay, I got it. Thank you.
So yeah, real quick, I was gonna ask Sonali if she could share with us what she's doing or currently doing or what she was doing before she started with Code the Dream. And I think as I recall, Sonali is actually taking a lot of courses. But yeah, Sonali, if you could share a bit of your experience with us.
Yes, I cannot share the screen, but I can talk.
Yeah,
So
that's fine.
I just wanted to tell Tiana, for I think only intro to programming class, we need to submit the assignment to get registered. Or other than that, for any class, we can join anytime. Like I'm doing Node and React at the same time. I didn't submit anything to join the class. We can just
It's because you had the like previous class. I entered the school like from the React, and like the entering student not taking the intro, they had like to submit the assignment. So that's why I forgot about that. So that's why I was asking Olga. But yeah, I now I remembered and read through the documentation, so I found that. But thank you for all your like answers. I like really appreciate it.
because it's 4 o'clock already. Nothing much like for my side. Like my story is little similar to the fairy Tina stories. Yeah, maybe I'm pronouncing wrongly. Yeah, I before joining Code the Dream, I think 2008, I started working as a software developer in ASP.NET, C#.NET, and VB, SQL Server. I did front end, back end both, but not exactly the CSS and HTML. But I did, other than that, I did everything in software development, like getting requirement from client and installing till start to end everything. Only I didn't do that much work on pages like HTML pages and CSS. Then we moved to India, from India to US, and then same like I can't work because of H4 visa. That time I didn't get EAD also. So I have 2 daughters, so I was busy with them. They were very small. I couldn't work anywhere. So my full-time job was like mother. When they grown up a little bit, and then I started taking small classes, teaching 4th, 5th grade math classes like that. And then after COVID time, I decided I will return to my job, like I will start as a software developer. And then I started doing a lot of courses, learning from YouTube videos, taking Coursera. I did certifications in advanced classes, even try to learn um, ML, like machine learning, lot of things. But I was still, I couldn't get any confidence. Like I can go and start taking interviews, and I can do the job, because I don't know, there is not a clear path to. Especially I had to do the real projects. I should work on real projects. So, but when my friend told me about Code the Dream, I instantly like started. I joined this Code the Dream classes, and it was very great experience. Like, oh my God, I was working on projects. I'm doing real work.
Yeah.
Then taking, just learning and just taking the courses. I was actually doing something that was my like confidence build up. Like I got very much confidence. Now I can do something. So it's what you are talking, Brandon.
Oh no, I was just agreeing. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but yeah, I mean,
Okay.
please proceed.
So then I did React, and I'm doing React and Node class simultaneously.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying a lot. Especially I like coding from starting, so I didn't think about switching my career, because I wanted to stay in this career and I want to continue in this. So I think that's it. Yeah, I like Node and React front, because I don't want to depend. If I wanted to make any website or any web application or any app for mobile app like that, I don't want to depend on anybody. I just wanted to do as full thing, like a full stack web developer. If I get team, it's great. But if sometime at home, if I'm at home, I can't like tell friends, let's do software app, build up app and like that. But that is thing, like I wanted to do React and Node both, because I wanted to be a full stack web developer. If I'm in this current market, it's getting very hard to get the job. So it's at home, at least I can build up something myself. Like I don't want to, I can't, I shouldn't depend on anybody. I just have to start the work and do something and build some application.
Yeah, and I think Code the Dream is great for giving you like prime opportunity to work on projects, to work with other people. I know as a full stack developer, like you mentioned, it sounds like you prefer to work, by yourself, not have to depend on a team. But it is great to also get that experience too. Are you going to do the practicum once we finish with?
Yes, yes, I'm going to do the practicum. I will do in React. Node I will do later on, but first I will finish the practicum in React.
Okay, so you'll do the practicum learning React. And I know you mentioned before doing Code the Dream, you already had a lot of experience, it sounds like, as a software developer. I know you said you came to the US and, took some time off from, the software development job. You wanted to get back in. I know it sounds like you were watching a lot of YouTube videos to kind of help like refresh your memory, learn some new things, which is a great resource if you want to, do like tutorials, learning new like things like maybe if you want to learn SQL, which is not something we offer here at Code the Dream right now, but there's plenty of YouTube tutorials out there. There is, but I know, like you said, just doing it that way can be difficult, like building up your confidence, not really giving you a chance to build real world projects. I know a lot of times you're, just kind of copying what the video is doing. There is a word for that. And it was something I was stuck in for a long time, like trying to build projects off YouTube videos. It's called tutorial hell. And it's just when you're like, learning new technologies and like YouTube, and you feel like, you have a pretty solid foundation at the end, but then when it's time to like recall things you specifically learned from it, suddenly, like if you have to recreate what you did without watching the video, you're just kind of like stuck. So that can be very challenging and difficult. So I'm glad you were able to get your foot in the door with Code the Dream, and I'm so happy to hear that it's been a good experience for you and learning and giving you this experience. And is there anything that you're still kind of hoping to get experience with or learn, either in your Express course or your React course, or something you're hoping to do in the practicum?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm hoping to work practicum to get the experience in developing projects, and I'm interested in working on real world projects. So I'm interested in learning like what somebody told, right? Like keep on like a student whole life. So I always like to learn a lot. I already know a lot of languages, like I know Java, a lot of things. But I anyways again I like more to learn like a lot of other languages even. I learned Python and everything, but still I wanted to learn more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm the same way, and I think it sounds like a lot of us here are also just super motivated to keep learning new things. And I think that's what makes a good software engineer, is just like a passion, because you never really stop learning new things. Like things are always updating, things are always changing, as you know, things deprecate over time. So basically, if you're wanting to pursue a career path and as a software engineer, like you're never gonna stop learning like new things. Like if that was your impression that you're just gonna be like make it somewhere and just like never have to learn anything new, like forget about it. So I'm so happy that you were able to get this experience, and I know you have a big workload. You're currently doing Node and React, so I'm super impressed that you've been so diligent and turning in your work and turning in good quality work. So yeah, I'm just
Thank you.
thank you for sharing your experience with us, and I hope everything goes well, with the practicum and what you continue to learn with Code the Dream afterwards.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sonali. So that about wraps it up. I think we're able to get to everybody. I know we went a little bit over an hour.
Annie didn't say yet, or she will not.
What's that?
Anyone?
Yeah, I was about to get to Annie to see if she's one of our React mentors. So if you're in the Grackle course, you may already know Annie. She's one of our great React mentors. She's been hanging out for the past hours. If there's anything that she I was gonna see if there's anything that she wanted to share with us, about maybe what she was doing before becoming a mentor with Code the Dream, or give us a little bit more insight about, what she was doing before or currently as a mentor, if she wanted to.
Sure. I had several different kinds of jobs. I was a direct support for individuals with developmental disabilities. Um, kind of like a life coach, which should have been a life coach, but things have changed, and then I had to bow out. And I'm a math tutor currently.
Wow.
I tutor from first grade to college students, so in range of mathematics subjects. So, um, calculus, differential calculus
Wow.
too.
Were you a
I
math major?
worked. I was a math major. Well, more like a fail math major.
At least you had the experience. I mean, definitely, more math than I do for sure. So enough to still be
Yeah.
tutoring people. So
Well, I couldn't finish the last two classes because it was so hard. Like I failed, and so I decided to turn it into a multidisciplinary. So I still have math degree, but with something else. So I could graduate,
yeah,
um,
totally.
yeah, abstract algebra. I had a really hard time understanding abstract algebra. It was really tough. I don't know how other people do it. So,
I don't even
um,
know what that is, to be honest. Yeah, abstract algebra. I know like normal algebra, but yeah, it sounds super complex and beyond my my understanding.
you're kind of learning a language pretty much. It's
Okay.
uh yeah. So it's hard to explain because I don't understand either. So.
But I imagine your math background has been helpful for you, with at least, learning like being a software engineer or doing work, with like projects and stuff. Have you found that very helpful?
Oh yeah, because I'm very logical. It's like React is different. Like I don't know, it's more like with JavaScript. Like yeah, I can understand the logic. React is like is is a library, right? So you just have to learn,
Or
like jQuery, right?
yeah.
And Angular.
Uh-huh.
So I'm currently taking Node classes, so I'm interested in what the backend is like, So I don't
Yeah.
know if it's more aligned with, math. Um, I was a web developer when I was a student. I did get hired to create like I learned PHP,
Yeah.
and jQuery. Uh, so that was a long time ago, like SQL. Um, and then I tried to be, I couldn't, I don't know, it was a weird time, like you remember 2008, right?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, like
I'm
it
I'm
was
that
a
old,
really
yes.
weird time. I couldn't get a job. Like they keep telling me, like they shifted from hiring people with hiring people with entry level job with just a college degree. Now it's like, oh, we need experience, and I for some reason like college was not enough back then, and it is still true to this day for some reason. I even had to tell my boyfriend, like, hey, if she wants to get a job after college, she needs to get an internship now.
Huh.
Because she wanted to be a mechanical engineer. So I was like, she should get an internship now while she's in high school,
Huh.
so she had more prospect, after she graduates from college. It's a sad reality we face
Yeah,
today.
absolutely.
Because, anyway,
Huh.
uh, I did a lot of people service jobs. It was a quite eye-opening for me because
Mhm.
before, like, I was shy. I didn't know how to interact with people and I didn't know how to communicate. But after like decades of being a customer service and human services, like I learned how to communicate well and understanding. I had to exercise empathy as well. Like I was empathetic, but I just didn't quite understand like understanding the backgrounds. Like okay, like so it's just so now I'm back to coding because I did web development a long time ago. I enjoyed it. Um, I created wedding websites for my friends too. So and
Nice.
now yeah, so I'm just like coming back to it, and I'm hoping to do this, while I'm still alive.
Like, so are you currently still doing any like I know you said so basically right now you're just tutoring math, it sounds like.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
But now school is about to end, so I would have no job this summer. So I
Oh, so
need to look
you're
for a part-time
you're
job just to sustain uh financially. Yeah.
I see. So you're in school currently too, right? It sounds like.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So oh, because
No,
school, like because
school
you're
meaning
the
my
people that you're
students
tutoring, the people
that
you're
I'm
tutoring will be on.
yeah, the
I got it.
students I'm tutoring, yeah.
My bad.
Their school is about to end.
I see. Okay. Yes. Now it
Yeah.
makes sense, and that would be
Yes.
why suddenly the work load would be dropping. I mean, but I guess like people can always take summer courses, right? Like that might be a thing. People still may need
Yeah,
summer coursework.
the
Are
I
you
had a
just
student who took summer courses but didn't have tutoring. I don't know. I
are you
guess
are you sourcing
yeah.
people like a lot of your clients? Are they like sourced through like your local university, or is there like an online site that you're using to like hey, I'm a tutor available to sign up with me?
Uh I'm employed by agency in Florida.
Okay,
So they would ask me if I could tutor one of the students.
cool.
So yeah.
Well, there's plenty of opportunities. I know, yeah, like the summer, it's not really like a traditional like hiring season, but there's stuff out there.
Well, ice cream is hiring, so
Ice cream.
ice cream places.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, if you got any around you. I don't think I have any near me, unfortunately, within the
Oh,
distance I can commute to. But yeah, I mean, there's things out there. I guess like for myself, and I know we've been here for like almost an hour and a half now. I don't want to like keep everyone here. Uh, I'm gonna end the recording soon, but um, yes,
May
for
I ask?
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, go ahead.
I am kind of making it long, but I would like to ask anyone since she did the practicum before, if she can share how does it work. Like we say, oh, this is my availability. So should we have a time frame together, or I don't know if you can share how did you do before with your team.
oh yeah. So it's the practicum is 8 weeks long. What I learned from doing practicums, I did three. Um, it was uh, I was in a weird spot. But anyway, the most important thing about practicum is that the first 2 weeks, you really, really got to come up with an idea and have it planned, like plan it out. front end, back end, like everything within the first 2 weeks, because 2 weeks are very critical. Because my first practicum, we pretty much like we were like debating a lot for like 4 or 5 weeks, and we just like couldn't agree on one, on a thing. So we ended up like, although it worked out at the end, but we were like scrambling at the end, try to get the product, you know. So you don't want to dilly-dallying, you don't want to, you know. So the first 2 weeks, you really got to plan it out, just make sure we have the product ready to be made, preferably by end of week 2, at the latest. And then from there, like, now we can code, and because it's a lot of work, and you're gonna run into a lot of emerging conflict. So you want to familiar yourselves in Git and with a GitHub project, that too. And also make sure you communicate what you're gonna do and what you want to do, because my other practicing group, we didn't really talk much. We didn't communicate a lot, which was weird. I tried to like, hey everybody, what we're doing, and it was like silence, and so we didn't end up getting the product out in time. So really plan it out. Communication, constant communication is key. And 8 weeks is, I don't feel like it's not enough time. But yeah, it's a really crunch time. You can't just be laid back. So that's my advice.
That's great advice.
Thank you.
That reminded
Yep.
me of, so there's these things, it's like outside of Code the Dream, but you can Google them. Like once you finish practicum, continue like with Code the Dream. If you want to get more experience with like working in teams, and you don't want to wait for the next practicum, there's this thing called hackathons. You can Google them. They're usually sponsored with like different like agencies will host them. Usually it's for like it's usually like a contest, and there's different teams of like developers, front end, back end, very similar to the practicum, but instead of 8 weeks, they usually give you like 3 days. And the last hackathon that I did was like last year, was just like, it was one of the worst experiences, and like maybe, I don't know, but it was because, so we had 3 days, and like Annie was saying, it's super critical to like get your idea down like right away. I think there was like I think our team had like 8 people on it, like 4 front end, 4 back end. And after the first day, we were still like undecided about the idea we wanted to do. And then there was like some personality conflicts too that just made it like super stressful. And you just had to kind of sit there and just like observe it was just chaos. And anyway, now that I'm painting it like a great picture of it, but it just kind of depends on the team you get on. But I think we were still able to settle on an idea like the second day, and then like by the third day, I think we were still able to like complete it and turn in something, and it was okay. Like we didn't win or anything, but it is good experience working with a team. Like it's not always going to be like an experience like that. But if you did want more experience working with teams, you can Google hackathon, and it exists. But I would wait till you're like very comfortable with your skills as either like a front end or a back end person before doing it. And it is very fast paced. Like you have to kind of just like give up 3 days of your life doing nothing but this, and it can be very stressful. But anyway, like it exists. Check it out if you're interested in that, after you complete your courses. So
I do have one advice. You want to make the project simple at first, and then once you complete it, then you can add more features.
Yes.
That was my first practicum issue, was we try to put a lot of features at first. So
great point.
so you wanna make a simple project and then expand.
Yeah, have a baseline of what it's called a minimal viable product, or MVP. You'll be hearing that a lot if you haven't already heard about it before, but basically you want to meet your MVP first. Like, you have an idea for your project, it has some purpose or service that it offers, and you just kind of want to meet that minimum viable product first. And then if there's like extra stuff, extra features you want to put in, and like start implementing that after your MVP has been met. So anyway, I know it's been anyway, I want to thank Annie for sharing all that great advice and her experience with us. And I know it's been about an hour and a half, close to a half an hour longer than I was kind of hoping it would be. Next week we'll like see how many people join. We'll have a more structured like time thing for presentations. Probably do breakout rooms next time, but at any rate, thank you so much for joining us for the Mixer this week. If there's anyone that you heard from this week that you might be interested in grouping up with for the practicum, totally recommend reaching out to them on like Slack. If there's anyone that think you might work well together, yeah, like continue to communicate on Slack, get to know each other, and then yeah, I encourage you all to work together on pair up for the practicum. So. I just wanted to thank you guys again for joining us this week. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording here. And I don't know who's going to host the practicum next week, but it could be me again. If so, it'll probably be like next Friday. But I just wanted to say